Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, is a city of contrasts and contradictions. Here, you'll find both bustling markets and gleaming skyscrapers, extreme poverty alongside incredible innovation. It's a place where the line between wealth and hardship is razor thin, and each day brings a new chapter in the story of a city caught between two worlds. Join us as we dive into 10 compelling insights that reveal the complex heartbeat of Nairobi, from its prosperous tech sector to the devastating realities of its underprivileged communities. And stick around until the end. One of the last insights will completely change how you view this city. Welcome to World Marvels. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories like this one. 10 Women of Nairobi. The lives of women in Nairobi reflect the stark economic and social divides that define this city. In Nairobi's wealthier neighborhoods, women often enjoy better access to education, healthcare, and career opportunities. Many are active in business, government, and the tech sector, contributing significantly to Nairobi's growing economy. For these women, Nairobi offers the resources needed to build a prosperous life. However, for women in poorer neighborhoods such as Kibera or Mathar, life is far more challenging. In these densely packed communities, many women are the primary breadwinners, juggling low-paying jobs with household responsibilities. Daily life is filled with hurdles, from limited access to water and sanitation to the ever-present risk of personal insecurity. Many work in informal sectors like street vending, tailoring, or domestic service, struggling to make ends meet. Despite these difficulties, the strength and resilience of Nairobi's women shine through. Many are deeply involved in grassroots initiatives aimed at improving living conditions, from community health clinics to educational workshops for children. Their efforts are often the backbone of these communities, reflecting a powerful spirit of determination. The women of Nairobi embody both the city's challenges and its enduring hope for change. 9. The beginnings of Nairobi. Nairobi's story begins in 1899, when it was founded as a railway depot during British colonial rule. Originally just a small camp along the railway from Mombasa to Uganda, Nairobi quickly grew into a vital hub for trade and administration. This growth was partly due to its strategic location, as it allowed easy access to other parts of Kenya and East Africa. By the early 20th century, Nairobi had developed into the capital of British East Africa, which brought about a wave of infrastructural expansion. Roads, buildings, and institutions were built, laying the groundwork for what would become one of Africa's most important cities. Today, Nairobi is a bustling metropolis with over 4 million residents, serving as Kenya's political, cultural, and economic center. The remnants of its colonial past can still be seen in its architecture, with historic buildings sitting side by side with modern skyscrapers, capturing Nairobi's blend of old and new. 8. Life in Kibera. Kibera, Nairobi's most famous slum, is often considered the largest urban informal settlement in Africa. This densely populated area is home to hundreds of thousands of people who live in challenging conditions. Housing consists of small, crowded structures made from mud and metal sheets, providing minimal protection from the elements. Narrow alleyways wind through the slum, often lined with open sewers, which create severe health risks. In Kibera, residents face significant challenges in accessing clean water, sanitation, and electricity. The lack of infrastructure contributes to frequent outbreaks of diseases like cholera and typhoid. Health clinics are few, and residents often rely on makeshift solutions or community-run initiatives to meet their basic needs. Despite these hardships, the community spirit in Kibera is strong. Small businesses operate within the slum, from food vendors to artisans, and community leaders frequently organize support networks to assist those in need. Education is another challenge, with few schools available to serve the area's population. Many children grow up without access to quality education, which limits their future opportunities and perpetuates the cycle of poverty. However, some organizations work tirelessly to provide education, skill-building workshops, and job training, aiming to give Kibera's youth a better chance at breaking free from poverty. 7. The substance abuse epidemic. In recent years, Nairobi has faced a growing crisis of substance abuse, particularly in impoverished neighborhoods. With high unemployment and few prospects, many young people turn to drugs as an escape from their daily hardships. Heroin, which enters the city through well-organized trafficking networks along the Indian Ocean coast, has become particularly prevalent. The easy availability of cheap drugs has exacerbated the problem, with substances like khat, a local stimulant, and even glue being commonly abused. Mathar, one of Nairobi's oldest slums, has been severely affected by this epidemic. Young people here are often seen wandering the streets in a daze, their lives consumed by addiction. This issue has led to a vicious cycle of poverty, crime, and despair. Addiction affects not only the individual but also entire families, who struggle to support loved ones trapped in the grip of drugs. Community leaders and NGOs are working to address the crisis, offering rehabilitation programs and counseling, but the scale of the problem requires far more resources than are currently available. The impact of substance abuse reaches far beyond individual suffering. It creates an atmosphere of insecurity and tension within affected communities. Crime rates tend to rise in areas plagued by addiction, as individuals resort to theft and other crimes to fund their habits. This has a ripple effect, as businesses close and residents live in fear, further entrenching the cycle of poverty and desperation. 6. Mental health crisis. The substance abuse epidemic in Nairobi has also contributed to a widespread mental health crisis. Living in poverty and facing daily struggles takes a heavy toll on residents' mental well-being. Depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, are all too common, especially among individuals who have endured trauma and hardship from a young age. For many, these mental health issues go untreated due to a lack of accessible and affordable mental health services. In Nairobi's informal settlements, mental health resources are almost non-existent. Most residents can't afford private treatment, and public facilities are often understaffed and underfunded. NGOs and local charities step in where they can, offering counseling and support groups, but their reach is limited. Without adequate mental health care, many residents struggle to cope with the weight of their challenges, contributing to a cycle of despair that is difficult to break. The stigma around mental health issues also prevents many from seeking help, even when resources are available. Many residents view mental health problems as something to be ashamed of, which further isolates those in need of support. Tackling this mental health crisis will require not only resources but also a shift in attitudes, encouraging openness and understanding. 5. Crime and gang activity. Nairobi's crime problem is closely linked to its socio-economic issues, with organized gangs controlling much of the drug trade within the city. In neighborhoods where poverty and unemployment are rampant, young people often find themselves drawn into gang activity. For some, joining a gang offers a sense of belonging and a way to earn money, even if it's through illegal means. Gang violence is a constant threat in these areas, and turf wars between rival gangs often lead to bloodshed. The presence of gangs disrupts daily life, creating an environment where residents live in fear and local businesses struggle to survive. For many, the allure of gang life is strong, yet it leads to a cycle of violence and hardship that is hard to escape. The impact of gang control goes beyond crime, affecting community morale and economic stability. These gangs also prey on young, vulnerable individuals, recruiting them with promises of protection and wealth that rarely materialize. The reality is that gang involvement often leads to a short, dangerous life filled with violence and instability. Addressing gang influence requires more than just policing. It requires providing meaningful opportunities that can steer young people away from a life of crime. 4. Government efforts and policing. In response to the crisis of drug abuse and crime, the Kenyan government has implemented various strategies to curb these issues. Police operations targeting drug dealers and gang members have increased, especially in high-risk areas like Mathar and Kibera. However, these interventions often have mixed results. While some criminals are apprehended, the overall effect on the community is not always positive. Frequent police raids disrupt daily life and can escalate tensions between law enforcement and the community. In many cases, residents view the police as antagonists rather than protectors, which undermines trust and cooperation. Excessive force used by the police has also sparked resentment, with some community members viewing the authorities as a source of danger rather than security. Addressing these issues requires a more nuanced approach, one that combines enforcement with community outreach and support for those affected by crime and addiction. Despite these challenges, some initiatives show promise, such as community policing programs that aim to build relationships between law enforcement and residents. These efforts help to reduce crime by fostering a sense of mutual respect and cooperation. However, long-term solutions will require addressing the root causes of crime, including poverty, lack of education, and unemployment. 3. NGO interventions and support systems. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, play a crucial role in Nairobi, filling gaps left by government initiatives. Many NGOs focus on rehabilitation, education, and economic empowerment, offering programs that aim to break the cycle of poverty and addiction. These organizations provide a lifeline for individuals seeking to turn their lives around, offering services such as counseling, job training, and health education. NGOs also run youth programs that provide alternatives to gang life, teaching skills that can help young people find stable employment. While these efforts are making a positive impact, funding constraints often limit their reach. The work of these organizations highlights the need for a more comprehensive approach to Nairobi's social challenges, one that includes support from both the public and private sectors. Community-based organizations have also sprung up within informal settlements, founded by residents who understand the specific needs of their neighborhoods. These groups often focus on localized issues, such as access to clean water, healthcare, or education, making them essential to the resilience and survival of Nairobi's underprivileged communities. 2. The rise of Silicon Savannah. Nairobi has become known as the Silicon Savannah, a leading tech hub in Africa, thanks to its burgeoning tech industry. Over the past decade, Nairobi has attracted international investors and fostered local startups, particularly in fintech and telecommunications. This tech boom has created jobs and opportunities, especially for the city's young and educated population, offering a beacon of hope in a city facing many social challenges. Nairobi's tech scene has also helped the city attract global attention, with major corporations setting up offices and incubators for budding entrepreneurs. This growth is transforming Nairobi's image, positioning it as a city of innovation and opportunity. However, the benefits of Silicon Savannah are largely concentrated among Nairobi's more affluent residents, highlighting the need to make tech opportunities accessible to a broader population. For Nairobi's future to be truly sustainable, it will need to bridge the divide between its tech sector and its struggling communities. Ensuring that the progress generated by Silicon Savannah reaches Nairobi's underserved neighborhoods will be essential in creating a balanced, inclusive city. 1. Nairobi's crossroads. Nairobi stands at a critical crossroads. With the promise of Silicon Savannah on one side and the pressing needs of its underprivileged population on the other, the city's future could take vastly different paths. To move forward sustainably, Nairobi will need a balanced approach that addresses social challenges alongside economic growth. If Nairobi can leverage its technological progress to create opportunities for all, it could become a model for resilience and development across Africa. Education, healthcare, and job creation will be essential to overcoming the city's most pressing issues. Nairobi's youth, in particular, represent a powerful force for change, and with the right resources, they could drive the city toward a brighter, more inclusive future. Nairobi is a city of resilience, ambition, and profound contrasts. What part of Nairobi's story moved you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with friends. Stay curious, and keep exploring the marvels of the world. Until next time, take care, and remember that every city has its own unique story waiting to be told.